Om Apyayantu mamangani Vak pranaschakshu shrutramatho balamendriyani cha sarvani sarvam brahmopanishadam maham brahma nirakuryam ma brahma nirakarut anirakaranamastu anirakaranam mestu tadatmani nirate ya upanishadsu dharmaste mai santu te mai santu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May all my limbs attain strength. May the body, the mind, the sensory and motor organs, and the life force become efficient, powerful. All is verily the one without second, ever present, ever blissful, ever conscious existence itself, called Brahman. Let me never deny this truth of Brahman. May the Brahman never reject me either. I am aware that experience of these truths in life require a cultivation of certain virtues told by the scriptures. May all those virtues be in me who am striving for the experience of this truth. Peace, peace, peace. Let us try to make a very simple thought experiment to feel this truth of oneness spoken of by the sages and scriptures. They are telling from their experience and from the common sense reason. In common sense reason, we transcend the appearances and go to the reality. Because we have heard this right in our schools. Early childhood, appearances are deceptive. And so we have to go beyond appearance. All the variety, the differences that we see are only in appearance. The appearance changes. Like our bodies, they give the idea of variation. I am such and such person, and that is another person. The difference is because of identification with the appearance, identification with body. We are having a box full of animal crackers. Different animals in appearance. There is elephant, there is camel, there is dog, there is lion. The difference is only in appearance. Let us instill this truth in our awareness that we are different only in appearance. We are not the bodies, which is a very common sense truth evidenced by simple common logic. The body changes. The matter in one body goes to the other body. It is a sequence of chemical reactions. How can I be that? I am not that. Therefore, our language shows this. We say, my body, like my pen, my book, my car. I am not any of these, so I am not the body. I am immortal, never born. It was the body that got born. And then it has been changing continuously. I am not going to die either. I am not the mind either for the same reasons. I am thus beyond time and space. There cannot be any desire, for I am all that is. All is one. In the absence of desires, there is no suffering, no bondage. This, the bliss alone, reigns supreme. I am bliss itself. Om, peace, peace, peace. So, friends, let us begin our today's discussion on this great age old scripture, which is even now so popular and has lot of impact on the Indian mindset and even out of India as well, because of its very lucid presentation of Vedanta truths. Some people they ask, about this is bhakti, this is not Vedanta. This is not bhakti, this is not Vedanta, or this is bhakti and so not Vedanta. The study of this book removes all such misunderstanding, that Vedanta is always full of bhakti. In fact, all Vedanta texts speak tremendously about bhakti. Without bhakti, actually, there cannot be the practice of Vedanta. Even the greats like Shankaracharya insist on bhakti to be present in the practice of Vedanta. It is the best practice, as Shankaracharya says, moksha karana samagryam bhakti reva gariyase. See this great statement: amongst all those means for liberation, the greatest one is the supreme one is bhakti. This is not the opinion of somebody who is known as bhakta, popularly known as bhakta, but Shankaracharya, considered as an exponent of Vedantic knowledge. Uh, but it is just a wrong categorization that we indulge in. It is not right, friends. Vedanta teaches bhakti. And this is this misunderstanding which is commonly seen. This is not Vedanta, this is bhakti, or this is bhakti, this is not Vedanta. Such ideas are completely unfounded. There is no foundation either in Vedanta or in bhakti for that. But yes, there have been some schools which claim to be schools of bhakti and disregard Vedanta. That is not real bhakti either. So, bhakti has to be uh, along with the imports of the primary scriptures called Upanishads. Upanishads are the greatest scriptures of bhakti, as Vivekananda, an authority of that level, says that bhakti is the main, best presented in Upanishads. So, anyway, let us begin with the opening chant. Before that, Charlie pokes. It is so, chant loudly. जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि. That from whom creation, sustenance and dissolution of the universe take place, who is both the instrumental and material cause of it, who is omniscient, is the only one having self-mastery, being the one independent entity, who illumined the mind of Brahma with the Vedic revelation, whose wisdom is the wonder of even the greatest sages, in whom the world of the three gunas subsist, as the combination of materials like fire, water, and earth subsist in their causes without changing their elemental nature, in whose consciousness there is nothing false. On that truth supreme we meditate. So, this is the outline of the whole teachings of Bhagavatam, that Supreme Lord, one has to meditate on that, but as the truth. That Lord is identical with truth. And this is all the greatest teachings of Vedanta. They are put in this, that the idea of Maya or illusion, that just as fire, water, and earth subsist in their causes without changing their elemental nature. In everything, like this example relates to mirage, that there is this combination water in your mind, there is the earth, and there is the fire in the sense of this sunlight. So, all these combine to give the illusion of water. But none of these actually underwent any change. Where there was this earth or sand, you started seeing water there without undergoing any change in those substances. They pervade all this, but without undergoing any change. So, the Lord pervades everything. It is all actually nothing but God. Without undergoing any change, it appears like this passing show, multiplicity comes and goes. You see, and it appears and disappears. Born today, gone tomorrow. It is so many, these sayings born out of experience are presented there. That you from the dust you arise, not only in Hindu Vedantic scriptures but in Christianity. You come up from the dust and unto dust you go. This is matter of experience. So it is not real, it is a passing show. And What is the substance there? That is called God. This substance that does not change, on the background of which we see all this passing show, which pervades in everything that we see in the passing show. It is that is that divine, and to that truth supreme, that is the truth supreme. It is whatever the relative truths may be, this truth remains same, forming the basis for every single relative truth. So, therefore, this is to be experienced, and this can be experienced through devotion. We were seeing this great story of the God appearing in the form of fish. It is, and in and through these stories, you see the great truths of our spiritual life, our life. Let us even remove the word spiritual, because sometimes it gives a very wrong idea that there are two lives, spiritual life and secular life. No, the life is same one. The secular, so-called secular life also is really speaking spiritual life lived in a mistaken way, that's all. That the life that takes matter to be important and just keeps on whirling around it, wants to go on increasing the matter, and that is the material life. Spiritual life is just see that it is all spirit, and that becomes then spiritual life. So, uh, one another way of presenting it is also great, that the life woven around changing is the secular or material life. Changes happen, and so our life just whirls around it. Then there is the unchanging something, the life that is lived around that which does not change in the midst of all changes, liked or disliked. Mm, that unchanging reality remains untouched absolutely. So just think of that analogy I always give, that the screen in a movie does not change what movie gets played on it. It may be a tragedy, it may be a comedy, it may be some historical thing, or whatever. It doesn't change the screen. The story keeps on changing, but the screen remains untouched. In every picture, there is the screen. That is the reality. And therefore, Ashutosh doesn't like something happening in the movie, and if he throws a tomato on that character, what will happen? That character will not get hurt. The screen will get, that stain. So that is how these stories they bring out this changes are happening, but something that does not change, that is God. So we were having this story illustrated, that and such beautiful principles come out through these uh, enchanting stories. The stories are very nice. This story I had heard in my very childhood. From childhood, I have been hearing this. My grandmother used to tell this story, that, oh, the fish king finds the fish, and then uh, it filled the pot. Ah, As children, we used to be, listening with that amazement. Oh, in just one day it filled the pot. Not only that, it filled the pond, it filled the lake. And then, as it was being taken to the ocean, and the sage who was king earlier, before renouncing everything, he was spoken by the fish, and the king realizes this cannot be an ordinary fish. Firstly, it is talking. You don't. What Adi Maharaj? You go fishing and the fish starts talking. Never heard such a thing. It is the fish won't talk. This fish not only talks, goes on expanding and like that. And so the king says, what is this? You are not the fish. And then the God in the form of fish is revealed, and the God tells, look, now soon there will be a great deluge. Swami Vivekananda points out this, that in the mythological literature pertaining to all religions, you will find this story of deluge. So this deluge is coming, and then you have to put in a boat. Just stay here meditating. When the whole earth gets inundated, then a ship will come to you. The Lord tells Satyavrata, do as I have instructed. What? The ship will come. In the ship, you put yourself and the seeds of every plant and a couple of every creature, and carry that ship. Must be, of course, quite a huge ship. So, uh, and then start getting this rowing of this big boat. And you will see that when it becomes very stormy, there will be a big fish. I will be coming there to rescue you. It is, tie your ship to my antenna, uh, and then I will take you to safety. Everybody, there you will populate the new earth. So it is a new creation, as it were. It is called in our scriptures the uh, change of the era or the age, yuga. They are called the yugas. So one cycle is ended, the other cycle, as it were, begins anew. Like you do cooking today, and then in olden days when there was no way to preserve the food in the hot warm days, so people had to cook food every time, eat whatever is cooked in the afternoon, in the evening cook separately. Because it won't survive. So and then it would be anew again. Okay. In fact, in I remember, even you cannot buy the groceries like greens and vegetables or for a long time, because they won't withstand all this heat, and all, it will be spoiled. So every day, sometimes twice a day, you go to the shop and buy the fresh things. So it is, uh, and begin a new cooking, new dishes. Oh, don't prepare that. That was, we had it in the afternoon. Prepare something new. So a creation starts coming up. So this new creation will start. This is told to him. And then seventh day, it was told on seventh day, huge rain started pouring, pouring and pouring. It is described not here in this Purana, but in some other Puranas it is described that continuously for 6 months the skies were as well had got opened and terrible rains were just lashing. Some have further exaggerated. 12 years it was only raining. 12 years were drought. Everything was gone. So most of the life was gone because of no rains. And then suddenly the skies as it were opened up and the rains continued for 12 more years. So inundating everything underwater, huge, the whole, uh, uh, and then deluging the whole world. And as promised by the Lord in the fish form, a big ship came right there. And at that time, this Satyavrata was meditating, and as soon as he sees this ship, he had already did all this collection of all these seeds. He took all the seeds and a pair of each species into the ship and started the journey. And the big ship started moving forward in that terrible storm. And he had been told that the Saptarshis, the seven sages, which is this constellation, what is it called? Big Bear. So this big bear would be guiding. In the ship also, Satyavrata kept very quiet and meditative, this posture, meditative attitude all the time. And now these they told the king to meditate on God. Meditate on God. And then the ship was being guided through that terrible storm. Because why God? Why meditate on God? You will not be able to make the ship go much farther in this terrible storm. The oceans were all over flooded, and the winds were bringing up huge waves. How are you able to go and take this ship anywhere? It will get just overturned and drown. So, as the ocean became more and more stormy, and Satyavrata was meditating on the fish god, this god appeared in the form of this huge fish. The description is there. Uh, that the seven sages told the king with a joyous heart, O king, meditate on Keshava, the Lord of the world, uh, and he will save us from all difficulties and work for our welfare. As the king meditated, the Lord now appeared as the fish of golden color, having only one antenna. All fish have antennas, I am not sure. Uh, Fish have antennas. What do you think, Fred? Feelers. Huh? Okay, most of them don't have antennas. So this fish had one antenna as per this description. So this, uh, so then and endowed with a body a lakh of yojanas. Lakh means 100,000. Yojanas means it about there are different ideas. 12 miles form one yojana. So 100,000 yojana, 1200,000. That is the size of that fish. Mm. As directed by the Lord, earlier the king had the ship attached to the antenna of the fish using that serpent Vasuki. This Vasuki snake was tied to the antenna of the ship, antenna of the fish, and the ship was then carried by that. Like this was the fish was like the tow truck, you know. So this was carrying the ship behind it, and thus all that. So, as per instructions, the Satyavrata tied the ship to the fish god. This most powerful snake Vasuki, because in the storm that fish also that connection also has to survive. Uh, Once I saw there was that was in India a towing accident, you know. They had tied in a rudimentary manner, you know, that the village manner, that a jeep was carrying another car. Behind it, it was being towed and tied with a rope. And it was going like that. Our medical van was going behind it. Uh, and suddenly there was some bump, and then the rope snapped. And now what would happen to that? You know, it was fortunately that jeep still continued the car. It got toppled. It is because it is not strong enough. So what should be the rope to tie that which would hold his strength? So this Vasuki snake was chosen. Anyway, this Vasuki doesn't have now much work because its main job was to hold the earth ah, on its head. It was Sheshanaga called Vasuki or Shesh. That it is, it would hold the earth on its head. So that was its job. Now earth is submerged with water, so was free to do some other work. So was the you carry this all. So this snake was tied. We saw that this Vasuki snake has been we have read about it in Bhagavatam in that churning of the ocean. The ocean was churned like that through this using the Vasuki, that a huge mountain called Meru was used as the churning rod. Ocean has to be churned, you know, not a small pot, some yogurt to be churned like that. No, so an ocean needs to be churned. So the churning rod has to be a big, huge mountain. Mm. And then how to churn it? On what should it be based? So there was the story at that time not of fish god, but the turtle god, huge turtle which supported that mountain. It is. And then the Vasuki, this snake, was used as the rope to churn it from two sides. Both God, the gods means angels, and the demons, they started doing it. So, Lord Himself was running about and guiding. the whole thing and participating in the management of this big churning exercise. So Lord went and held the mouth. It is the trick, great diplomacy. Held the mouth side of that snake Vasuki, and then all the angels lined behind Lord to pull. And then the demons objected, hey, why you want to hold the mouth and we are pushed to the tail? No, no, we would like to churn from the mouth side. And the Lord said, okay, okay, you are welcome. Because it was soon that from that mouth of this big Vasuki snake, because of this churning, all that heat was coming out, and these demons soon started feeling the terrible pain. But now it was choice, you know, even what Raji, even if you realize that I made a mistake, you will have to suffer the consequences. That you chose that we will go and hold the mouth. Okay, afterwards now you don't have the liberty to change the choice. It is, I made a mistake of boarding this flight. Now after the flight has taken off, now you cannot jump to another flight, you see. So, therefore, one should make only informed, proper choice. Now, otherwise, the demons, they did not make the right choice, and it was God who kind of pushed them to make a wrong choice and suffer thereby. That it is, oh no, we want to hold the head because that was apparently more prestigious. Head is more prestigious than the tail side. So therefore, they foolishly went there and then had that. So that very snake, Vasuki, now is going there to help this God's now mission of this. And there comes then the Lord is now seen. Now see, externally it is a huge fish, but Satyavrata knew that it is God. God in the form of this fish. So he was still meditating on God. Like uh, somebody who is a conscientious eater, like our Charlie, he has been told that he has diabetes and should not take sugar. So I offered something to him today at the tea in the just a little while ago, and he said, "Sorry, no, no, I don't want to take sugar." So it is a thoughtful conscientious that he did not see the form of the cookie there. What he saw? Sugar. So that is the sign of a wise person. Didn't see the form, but the content in that form. So while this form is fish, but the awareness of this sage was, it is God. God in the form of fish. That is how, it is that you uh, prostrate before a stone. But if your awareness is that of stone, you will get the result of prostrating before a stone. But if your awareness is that it is God, oh, it is Ganesha that I am standing in front of or prostrating to. Now, what will you get? The result will be worship of Ganesha. So, because it is Ganesha in the form of the stone that you are seeing, that is how you get the results. If you see, for example, only a heap of flesh, blood, objectively speaking, material. That flesh is there, bones are there, blood is there. But if your awareness is, oh, he is, hey, this is my dear child, then what happens, Tilak? Hmm? When you see this not as a ball of flesh, bones, flesh. You see, this is my dear son. Then you go and hug. Maybe you take that child on your shoulders, kiss the child, and then ask, what do you want? Now, all this is because your vision has changed now. You are not seeing it as any heap of flesh, blood, a particular person. What your awareness is, accordingly you get rewarded. If your awareness is only that related to flesh, blood, then naturally you will get only that result. It is so. It is both. It is your choice. That what do you want to see there? It is whatever profits you, that is how one should act. That if I see God there, then it is God. A human being, God. There is the great message of Jesus at the end of that Sermon on the Mount, that you may say that, well, at the a day of judgment you will say, God, we never met you. No, you met me, because first God said you disregarded me. You did not respect me. No, we never saw you. Oh, did I not come to you seeking help as a sick person? Did I not come to you as a hungry person seeking food? Did I not come to you for many other these purposes? You disregarded me. You did not see that it is God. So you get that result. If you see God there, and the result becomes completely different. So this is how that Satyavrata, through his meditations, through his realizations, was seeing that it is that God, and he was obeying that God had given instructions, and he was obeying those instructions completely. And so now this journey began. So it is the king had the ship attached to the antenna of the fish, using the serpent Vasuki as the cord for tying. With great joy in his heart, he began to sing the praise of the Lord in a hymn. That is what you find in Bhagavatam. Great spiritual beauty of Bhagavatam. Everywhere the story will be given, and in the story a character will be chanting some prayers, uh, and prayers, they have the similar content in a way, but according to the particular situation, the details change. All prayers, they have a similar idea of, Lord, please accept us, and oh Lord, you are the Satchidananda in these forms. You took this form for the welfare of we human beings. All that will have the same similar content, but due to that situation, the situational details change. This is how in the West many get confused. that why different Hindus pray, they have different types of prayers. They have Ganesha, they have Saraswati, they have Mahakali, they have Durga, then they have the incarnations of God like Rama, Krishna, and so forth. The prayers become very different but yet same. Why so? Because yes, the prayers have these particulars also are taken into account. Otherwise, there is no prayer needed. The prayer is needed only because I am seeing this as a separate being, and then God is being seen. This is the idea of Saguna Brahman, Brahman with attributes. Brahman with attributes is not different from Brahman without attributes. There is no lower or higher about it. It is at many places in Upanishads and in many these such great books, it is told that whatever is beyond attributes, nirguna, is of the same status as saguna. Only they are different in appearances. What is saguna? The God with attributes. When you think of God, then it becomes saguna. It is according to your thought process, the God becomes that. It is the beautiful analogy is water has no its own shape, but whatever container that you use to take the water, then water assumes that shape. So it is exactly like that. You cannot think of God without attributes. It is only an intellectual assumption till one, but it doesn't mean that what you think is not God. You are thinking of God as per your capability, and yet you are aware also that God is beyond all attributes too. So, Saguna and Nirguna, it is both like Tulsidas. Now why I am using bringing out Tulsidas is he is a great teacher of devotion, bhakti. All day in all over India, especially the northern part of India, you will see everybody, even the villagers, illiterate, they have memorized this Tulsi Ramayana, the Ramayana given by great Saint Tulsidas, Ramacharita that is the title given by Tulsidas himself. Ramacharita it is Manasa means mind. It is a reflection that you can see of yourself in this Manasa. There is beautiful narration why it is Manasa and also that. But right in the first introductory verses, there is this Brahman described that aguna saguna dui brahma sarupa akatha ananta anadi roop ananta, that it is both are same Brahman, saguna and nirguna. Aguna means this without any attributes, and with attributes. Both are sarupa, means of the same status. Not that one is higher and other is lower. No, Sri Ramakrishna said it so many times that the snake, whether coiled or whether moving, both are the same snake. So it is like that, that they are of the same status. Saguna, aguna, saguna, dui brahma sarupa. And both are akatha, both are beyond description. Both have no beginning. It is both are beginningless, ananta, both are endless. So they are both equally great. And Tulsidas then very beautifully says, what do I do with them? He says, I have given them their respective places of adoration. In my awareness, I keep this nirguna, that God without attributes. I gave him this place, a great place of my awareness. In my heart, I have that awareness of God who is beyond all attributes. He is nirguna, naina nisaguna. In my eyes means when I see that very thing or think of it through my sense organs and mind, then so I have given therefore the place of eyes to the uh, Lord with attributes. So without attributes, with attributes, he says, but I have given the best place to something else. What is it? Rasana Nama Sunama. I have given the place of my tongue to the name of God, because of which both can be realized. So that is why name of God is so important. So it is this king is praising the praise of God, and he started saying, men whose knowledge of the Atman has been effaced by the beginningless nations, and who, as a consequence, are subject to intense suffering in samsara, sometimes surrender themselves to thee by thy grace alone, and thereby attain to thee. It is there comes the grace that man and they are covered by nations, and so what happens? And they commit wrong actions, being covered by nations, and the consequence is suffering that we all know. Why do we suffer? Just think, friends, it is all matter of common sense. We don't need to be rocket scientists. Just have common sense, simple common logic. If I am going to get, striving to get happiness, what should I get? What, Jitendra? Eh? Happiness we should have, isn't it? Yeah. It is, yeah, if you started with the idea of going to Vedanta society, where will you reach? Vedanta society. But do we not see that in spite of our striving to become happy, and you will see that nobody actually strives to become happy. What a joke it is. Does anybody think, oh, let me become unhappy, let me do this great work so that I want to become unhappy, I will become. Nobody ever can do like that. Everybody, that is why it is that in the constitution it is told everybody has freedom. Freedom of life, freedom of liberty, and freedom to pursuit for the pursuit of happiness. Because they didn't give their pursuit of unhappiness, because nobody does that. It is pursuit of happiness. But what we get is suffering. Ah, because of the mistake, you get suffering. And then, without having that suffering, you do not realize the mistake. Why is there suffering? If you make mistake and if you do not suffer for it, then why call it mistake? It was right decision because I got what I wanted. It is. But by mistake, you do something, the results come of the mistake, and thus the suffering follows. It is no, I did it by mistake. Well, then suffer by that. That is how you realize, that is how you call it mistake. That is mistake. Why it is mistake? Because you got something that you were not looking for. And so therefore now this suffering is only way to introspect and correct. Without suffering, the introspection doesn't happen. I was having a nice discussion long ago, in the beginning of my monastic life. I was talking to a very senior Swami. I learned a lot of things from him, although he never gave a single lecture. Very wise Swami. Mm. Very well educated and all, but would never give lectures. His job was in dispensaries and puja and all that. So, but I would ask certain questions, that how, Maharaj, see that you have the action and then its result. Action, that result again becomes an action. Again, you keep on doing that same thing, and then the impression of mistake becomes so deep rooted that it will keep on bringing you. That is how can the liberation happen then? He said, look, there is this something that you don't want comes as a result. And then the introspection begins. No, this was a mistake. I want to get rid of it. I don't want to continue with this mistake. There is the tendency of supporting the mistakes. Oh, I committed a mistake, but I don't want to go through the results of it. That is something that cannot happen because of the very that work and its result that has to follow. And thus you introspect. Without suffering, one does not introspect. It was right after all. So, therefore, this suffering, that is what this King Satyavrata is saying. Prayers, because you suffered by ignorance. And now, what will bring knowledge? The grace of God alone brings knowledge. We shall see the next part of the prayer in the next class, which would be the last class before we close for this summer. Then after September, we shall take up. This will also conclude this eighth book of Bhagavatam, Ashtam Skandha, and then we will go to the ninth one. This end comes with these prayers, and then the concluding things. So let us now chant this concluding verse here, and then if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुर्हो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः. O devotees, quaff, quaff to intoxication this nectar of the fruit of the tree of Vedas, flowing from the mouth of the great sage Shuka and mixed with ambrosia from his words. Any question? No question here. Any question upstairs?
Yes. Question from Premalata Cherupali.
From Premalata Chalupati. Yes, please.
If someone wants to share their personal feelings about what they are facing in day-to-day life, is it correct to hear and support or to suggest to them according to the person's perspective?
Well, if it is possible and if it is useful, one may listen to it. It should be first of all possible, and secondly, one must judge whether it is going to be useful or not. Many times it is very useful because a person, when vents out the problems and suffering, by venting it also a solution that becomes a consolation and solution. And that is what mostly the psychologists do. It is somebody told a nice joke that two psychologists they met after they were, for long years, many years they were in practice. One was kind of feeling so drained. Oh, to keep on listening to all that, I feel so burnt out, dead, drained. They uh, do you feel the same? The other says, no, no, I don't, I am feel very happy. I do not have that feeling of being drained out. Why? I feel so drained out. The mistake that you do is when they are talking, you listen. Ah, you should not listen. You should feign to be listening because it is all same, you don't have to listen really. If you listen, then you also get those things. Therefore, I don't listen. Let them talk because their talking alone gives them some relief. So it is good that you let talk to them, let them talk, but do not get affected by what they tell you. If you find any proper way to guide them, do certainly do that, or you can give some suggestions. That also is very good. Yes, thank you. Any other question? So let us conclude with the closing chant. As you know, coming Sunday there is a special guest lecture by Dr. Apurva Gupta about the burning out in medical profession. So he was concerned about that for quite some time, and so uh, we had some discussion, and I suggested you first. He wanted me to tell about it. I said, first you present your problem and your solutions. Then let me see. Uh, so, so he will be speaking on coming Sunday, and hope you all can come. Uh, no, no, I am not going to tell him that. You may tell. मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बो केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल